Hello, good afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in Georgia. We're here at Miss Cicily Rhodes' house, and this is for State Farm. We're going to be attempting a repair here. As you can see, I'm just going to mark so the camera can see it. And for the adjuster watching, you know there's 3 tabs and a 3-tab shingle. So what I'm going to do first, before I do anything else, is I'm going to show you the tools that I'll be using for this repair today. And this is an all-in-one. It is a State Farm roof snake, and it's called a State Farm roof snake because it is the only tool that State Farm has approved for repairs. So for the adjuster watching, this is a proper roofing tool. All right, and I'm going to use the flat end as it's designed to break the seals, right? Then to dig the nails out, I'm going to use this precision nail puller, a hammer and nails. Pretty simple, right, guys? All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and break the seals. And I'm just going to be as careful as possible, right? And as we see here, and we talked about earlier, we touched on it briefly, there's 3 tabs and a 3-tab shingle, right? So for the adjuster watching, you know this is our area repair. These are the shingles that we're going to be watching the closest to see if there is any functionality issues after this repair is complete. All right, so we know that's a far left, so I'm just going to go ahead and just carefully as I can, break the shingles, the seals of the shingles, which is why this flat end is here. Right, all right. Now I'm being super careful. I'm not unnecessarily jamming this tool in. Nice and easy, just kind of sliding it in. Enough force to be able to separate the shingles from each other. All right, and that's it. All right, so we're just gonna double check, make sure everything is nice and loose, right? And I can already see that we're probably gonna have issues here, but in good faith, we're gonna give it a really good shot here at State Farm. All right, so let's go ahead and get an overview just of this area that we're working with so we have a good basis of how these shingles look prior to pulling any nails out. Right, so you guys got your before of the entirety. Now we're gonna do close-up before, durings, and afters, okay? So let's get a close-up of this shingle right here. Right, we see the condition of this shingle. Let's go ahead and just lift it just slightly. Now notice I'm not even at 35 degrees, right? I'm gonna go ahead and give it a couple taps. And you guys see the during, you can see at the top of this shingle right here where that point of stress is. We start to see some issues. So just give it a couple taps. Go ahead and get this nail up out of the way, right? So let's give it a couple taps right there just to knock off any kind of loose granules that we may have. And if you can see here, all the way at the top of this shingle, you can see where that shingle is compromised. That fiberglass matting is cracked. That's why the granules are missing in that section, because this fiberglass is broken. Let's go on to the next one. Get a good before that. All right, let's get a during, lifting just slightly. Notice I'm not even at 40 degrees, not even at 40 degrees. Right, just enough to be able to grab that nail. And we'll go ahead and wiggle that guy out, pull it out. And you guys saw the during, as you guys see this happening in live time, guys. Look, if you follow my finger up here at the top, you can see really clearly on this one where that fiberglass matting is cracked. It is broken. That shingle is no longer functioning. Seems to be a common theme here. So on to the next one. I would say we could just stop now, but even if the adjuster watching agrees, the manager's manager may not. So we're gonna go ahead and do this in its entirety. So you got it before, there's your during. You can see the point of stress up there at the top. All right, let's give it a couple good taps. And you can see really clearly up here at the top too, where that fiberglass matting is cracked, is broken. The shingle is no longer functioning as it should. On to the next. Let's get a good before. There we go. Oh, this one. Notice I'm not at 45 degrees. I'm only about 30, 35 maybe. Just enough to be able to grab that nail head. And we're gonna wiggle it out. Right? And just like in the others, you saw the before, you saw the during, and now you see the after, right? So if you get a close-up of that. If you start over on this side, you see where it's kind of thick, and then over here, you can see really where that fiberglass matting is cracked. It is broken. The shingle is no longer functioning as it should. All right, for the adjuster watching, you know there's 2 courses of nails in a 3-tab shingle, one during its nail line, and one on the nail line in the shingles right above it. All right, so we're gonna lift just slightly. And notice I'm not bending back, not cranking back super hard on these shingles, not being unnecessarily rough. Just enough room to work with. Get these teeth underneath that nail head. And we're gonna go ahead and wiggle that out, right? And just like before, saw the before, the during, and the after. And you can see pretty clearly here where that fiberglass matting on that shingle is now cracked. Really, really common theme here on this roof. All right, then we go on to the next one. Let's get a good before of that. All right, here's your during. Just enough to be able to grab that nail with these teeth and then wiggle that guy out, right? All right, so you guys see this happening in live time. You got the before, you got the during, and then up here at the top, you can see after where that shingle is cracked, it is broken as well. Let's go on to the next. Before, during, wiggle that guy out, and after, guys. Now look, these shingles all have suffered casualties, guys. This is not a service to the homeowner trying to spot repair this roof just at this point. And all we've done so far is remove the nails. All right, so we're gonna go out with the old and in with the new. But before I do, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my work area just to make sure whatever is not already messed up will seal. But we're still dealing with functionality issues. So the next thing that I want to do is let me see if I can get the lighting right on this, is I want to show here where there is underlayment issues right here. You can see right here. Yep, being careful not to lift the shingles up too far. You can see there's a nice bend, but not past 40 degrees. You can see where this underlayment right here is holding moisture. That is not good. It can pretty much just rub off on my finger. It is holding moisture from wind-driven rain. So let's go ahead and with the new this guy. Now we tried to find the closest shingle match that we could. Actually, pretty close. Dimensions work. So we're gonna go ahead and line it up, right? Grab my handy dandy roof snake and get my nails correct. And we're gonna go ahead and start hammering these bad boys in. Now we're gonna go one at a time. Hopefully these nails don't bend on me. All right, so we're gonna go in at the nail line. Go ahead and start it off. And that shingle is not gonna do well with that nail, because that nail, as you can see as I pull it out, is jacked. So, we're gonna go ahead and center it again, get our reveals correct, get our dimensions right, and go ahead and try this one more time. Now, I say second time's the charm, or do they? I guess third time's the charm, huh? You know, I've been having a lot of issues here with these roof snakes. Never usually been this. Maybe it's the nails. Let's try this again. All right, let's get it in that nail line. Let's just start it off nice and straight. And wow, look at that. Usually this is not something that I have to deal with very often. Let's see. Try this again. Get in there. All right. We're having technical difficulties with the nail installation portion of this repair test video. I'm gonna move on to the next shingle. And we'll come back to that. Maybe there's a nail or something that's solid that's in the way that's blocking it. Definitely not State Farm's fault, nor problem that these tools aren't working as they should. But we got that one in. All right, here we go. And you can see even when these nails are installed with ease, and I'm not having to fight it to get a bent nail out or anything like that. You can see these shingles are just degrading more and more and more and more with each hammer blow and with each nail that's installed. Go ahead and start this off. They should call this the knuckle buster tool, not the roof snake. They should call it a knuckle buster. I'll tell you what. All right, let's try this one more time. Let's get it over here. Hey, man, see, that's just not gonna work right there. And typically what I would do is I would just take the shingle and not have to worry about the roof snake on this one. So I'm just gonna try my best to not lift up too high on the shingle. To nail that in. All right. Now, we've already shown you the before and the during and the afters of where this shingle has broken. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. There we go. The rest of these are going pretty smoothly. I don't know what's up with that area. All right, here we go. And last nail. Go in with it right here. Get a nice straight drive starting off. And drive it in flush. Now for the adjuster watching, I apologize for the technical difficulties we had with the installation of that one nail on that one shingle. There must be something under the roof covering that is preventing that nail from going in. Who knows what it is, because we're not taking off the underlayment, even though we should. So that brings me to my next point. For the adjuster watching, please note and realize that this is not doing the customer any service at all. It's tearing up the roof. This is not something that we can warrant. We traded one damaged shingle for 7 damaged shingles. If I was doing this repair, I'd literally have to keep going to the ground to grab a shingle, to replace here, to replace here, to replace here, so on and so forth, until the entire roof is replaced. So as a contractor, we cannot warrant this type of work. We would ask that State Farm would not put their name on this either. So this has been a repair attempt by Hammer Time, and this repair attempt has failed.